What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch in the Rube, our Wednesday afternoon show presented by our friends at Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask & Company Kitchen and Bar. That's near the East Lansing border on East Saginaw. An outstanding place to watch the Tigers run to the World Series on a mid-afternoon on a Saturday, whenever, to watch college football this weekend, the Lions next week on Sunday night, wherever it may be. It is our original sponsor and our go-to place and recommendation, Front 43 Neighborhood Pub, Cask & Company Kitchen and Bar. Great happy hour specials, good patio, underrated patio, frankly. I'd never steer people wrong there. And, yeah, we appreciate them greatly. And you can support us always by supporting them. Jason, how you doing, brother? I mean, I felt all of Fred Human, really good pianist.
Back to the white elephant in the room. They don't want to deal with the white elephant in the room.
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
You don't sound great.
No, I'm fine. I'm just aging rapidly watching the Tigers, and thankfully they have another game at 1 o'clock on a mother effing Wednesday. So yeah. It's great. I'm just keeping an eye. The Guardians can't feel the baseball, so it's good so far.
It's good. Yeah. No, we debated, obviously we want to be able to react to the Tigers. We are doing a Friday show this week. So we'll be able to react after the Thursday game.
I just wanted to watch it,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It was at 1 o'clock. What are you supposed to do? Stop your whole effing day? I mean, it's on Rob Manfred. I don't understand why this game, or why game one could not have been in the afternoon yesterday. And I know Yankees and Red Sox was on, but that's why you have so many networks and so many TVs to use. And
it's a weird.
I don't get it.
And they had trouble selling the game out in Cleveland. There were cheap seats and empty seats. Granted, I understand they're more concerned about TV, and it'll be interesting to see, because I think this is the last year of ESPN as a partner.
Oh, I thought you meant like ESPN period as a whole.
No,
that'd be so awesome,
right?
Let's start a new network. Let's start over.
But I don't know what the value is. I understand they want to stagger everything, and so everybody gets an isolated window. Although the Cubs are on at the same time, it doesn't. To me, you're better off with multiple primetime games going up against each other at this stage in the playoffs. I don't think it's that big an issue, and you don't want to stagger them by days, because you do that, then you're taking away from the.
A game gets its own day.
Well, I mean, yeah, it
stretches out till December.
The whole point of baseball is you need depth, you need multiple pitchers. You can't have days off between games 1 and game 2 in the postseason.
Yeah.
But I do think, first of all, it's just, again, we went through this with Fox and the Michigan State football and the 11 p.m. start. It's just disrespectful. You got to know, when teams out west in college football come east and have to play at noon, that's at least on a Saturday in people's waking hour. I don't think 9 a.m. on the West Coast is disrespectful to somebody. That's in your waking hour. That's breakfast with football. That sounds amazing to me. It's one of my favorite things about going west, is being able to watch games that start early at a sports bar and have an omelet or whatever. I don't. What's disrespectful is when you mess with people's body clocks, or when you mess with their work days. A lot of people can't get out of work. Now, if you're a good boss in this state, by the way, I know, in this,
the government.
Well, and that's why they shut it down. They were like, the Tigers are playing at 1. Yeah. We can't do our work. So that's why that happened. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I know it's not ideal. I don't love it.
I just don't get it. I understand it. You're only complaining because it's the Tigers. No, if there was another game on, I'd still say I could understand where the fans were coming from.
Yeah, and as a soccer guy, a soccer fan, I'm used to this stuff. I'm a sports writer, so I got weird hours, and it doesn't affect me. I like the stuff at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But most people aren't like that, and it's a pain in the ass. And for everybody, I'd rather.
So you're pro overseas, like the London games Sunday morning. You love those.
I don't really pay attention to that. It's just too much in one day. But I do like
to start at 9:30 a to go all the way till 1 a.m.
And it's never a great game.
Watch a 40-40 tie in OT.
It's never a game I care about that much. I'm talking about when you're out, if you're out west once in a while, college football at a sports bar when there are a bunch of games on at 9 a.m. when it's noon out east. That's fun. I like that. We've got a good show today, I think. We always say that. Usually we're lying. But today
we need answers.
is different.
Yeah.
Today is different. We're going to have Steven Sipple on, longtime columnist in Lincoln, and better known as Sip to people who know him in the business, and learn about this Nebraska team, who they are, what their ceiling is, and all that, and the matchup with Michigan State. I think that'll be a good conversation. He's really the...
Should I call him Sip when I call him, or
I would just go with Steven.
Does this guy know me?
Just go with Steven. Yeah. Well, he would answer to Sip. A lot of people call him
Sippy.
Sip. Yeah. I struggle because we're in that point where I know him well enough and for long enough that I can definitely call him Sip, but I talk to him like once every 2 years when I reach out to him to do this show or when I'm in the press box, and so it feels like we're not close enough for it.
You think he's mad at that, by the way? You only reach out every once in a while?
No, he reaches out. We're in the same. It's a very nice professional relationship, you know? But, you know, like if he called me G-Unit, I would answer to it.
You go by that?
But
you wouldn't
be confused.
Shocked? I mean, did someone call you?
When I was the sports
G-Unit?
editor in Freeport, worked there.
Well, that was when 50 Cent.
Correct.
That's how you say it, 50 Cent. That's when he was like really popular back then.
We had a part-timer, Jordan, shout out Jordan, who was in high school, senior in high school, who would come in every night to like do the agate page or whatever, and he always called me G-Unit.
So it worked like 23 years ago.
When I was a 24-year-old sports editor in Freeport, Illinois, I answered to G-Unit. Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It's the way it is.
Yeah. Mad Dog gave me the nickname Flip, and I had to answer to that for some reason, and then I had to explain it to people when they would ask, like, why does he call you Flip? And it was, like, I don't know.
What do you know? I mean,
to ask him.
He used to call my buddy Larry, who was his producer years and years ago, Dump Truck.
Oh, yeah.
And
he would always try to find a nickname somewhere or other for you.
Yeah. And yeah.
Dump Truck, and you don't like it because you're probably talking about your ass or something, so it makes you self-conscious, you know. Hey, Dump Truck. That was Mad Dog.
We are going to have Harry on today, too. We're going to pick some
What?
games, do best bets. It's great to have Harry back.
Jared Goff. Found him.
And before we get to all that, little MSU basketball.
It's the American way, except America has gotten soft.
So yesterday, MSU basketball had some availability. I sat down with Izzo for a little bit in his office for a column I wrote this morning on just advancing his 31st season, age 70, the camp out that he still does, all this stuff. It was a good conversation, and what's really jumps at you if you've covered him for a while, and I mentioned this in the column, is just how invigorated he seems. I think he wishes he was 10 years younger because I think he feels good. I think for all the frustrations, I don't think he has a plan to like be done. And I think sometimes when you're 70, you realize, well, the math just isn't on your side. The math isn't mathing for like doing another 15 years.
He's a rich 70.
I'm not saying
you can turn back the clock when you're loaded.
Well,
right?
Yeah, at some point.
There's things you can do.
So here's the thing about Izzo that cracks me up. He looks better than he has in a while, and we talked about that a little bit. And I think some of it has to stem from went through a really difficult period in the late 2010s with all the stuff with NASA on campus and ESPN on campus and then COVID and all that, and a lot of his friends left and all that. And I think he's had a hip replacement, which you wish he had done years earlier. I mean, he physically feels good, and he's trying to take care of himself better. But he still sleeps barely nothing. Like he was talking to me about his schedule for recruiting this weekend and the camp out. I mean, it's he's getting a couple hours sleep in a tent on Friday night, and otherwise he's all over the place, recruiting recruits in town, all this. But what's interesting about him, and the reason I think he's still going to go as long as he feels this good, is you can tell he still finds some thrill in the grind, so to speak. Like he was explaining his Friday, like Thursday night through Saturday night to me, schedule-wise, like hour by hour, and I was exhausted listening to it, and I just wanted to quit. And you could tell that was like great. I mean, it was, it's a lot of stuff that you'd think after doing this for all these years, after,
you have someone else do some of those things,
sucking up to 17-year-olds forever and stuff like that. Like I think he's still the idea of, building a program and doing it the way he wants to do it, and especially when he can do it through high school recruiting.
But these 17-year-olds are like excited to see you, though.
100%.
Right? They view you as a Hall of Famer, and you talk to their parents. So it's not like you or I are going to talk to these 17-year-olds. They could care less.
His cachet Izzo is starting to pay off for them. I think it might be one of the things that helps with this Julius Avent kid who's supposedly going to commit tonight. By the time a lot of people listen to this, I think they're going to have a commitment this evening. from him, kid out of New Jersey, who's sort of a modern-day Raymar Morgan, I think. I don't know if I compare him.
Wow.
Well, he's a kind of a big guy, but he's kind of a skilled, he's not a center, is what I'll say. He's kind of a 4-3, mostly a 4-man. Anyway, I think he's a good 4-star kid. But I just a little bit of what I know about that commitment. I think it helps. It's sort of like when Michigan got Juwan Howard. One of the things I thought would really help with Michigan in recruiting is that a lot of players may not know the Fab Five all that well. They weren't around for that, but their dads do. You know what I mean? Like Juwan Howard was a big deal, part of a legendary. I mean, he was part of a group. The reason there are 47 million Jalens in this world is Jalen Rose, right? And it's all the Fab Five to me. Nobody was named Jalen before Jalen Rose. I don't think it was Jalen. I think he was the first Jalen, and
ever.
I think the first Jalen ever. So he's part of an era that culturally was just huge, and I think Izzo has reached that status where on visits and who he is one of the last remaining guys that sort of has that cachet is helping them in recruiting, and I think he still enjoys that. So you can read that piece at lsj.com. And
so was that at the basketball offices?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you show up? When you show up, do you just walk right in, or is there someone you have to check in with?
Well, so yesterday,
I'm so interested to know.
He did like an availability. The end of practice is open, like the last hour of practice is open, and then he chatted with a bunch of reporters, and then I just went to his office with him.
Gotcha.
And that's.
Does he offer you a drink or anything, or he just tells you?
No, it's not like a cigar or anything. No, there's none of that. He's got.
I didn't know. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
We've known him for a while.
Yeah, no, it's and it is interesting that I don't know. Read the piece because it gets into how much he's pushed for tailgating at Munn, and it's like the first thing he said to the new school president, or when Kevin Guskowitz got the job. We need to get the cars back at Munn. Get tailgating going there. That's my.
He's a bull in a china closet.
That's half Izzo, half Billy Bob Thornton and Sling Blade. Anyway, all right. Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk some MSU Nebraska football with Steven Sipple. Couch in the Rube, our Wednesday show presented by our friends at Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask and Company Kitchen and Bar.
Sportsbook is the site to play from your phone, tablet, or laptop. Get in on all the football action with pre- and in-game wagering. There's showdowns every week in football that you can't miss. Plus, the college and pro hoops are red hot, and the pucks are cool. Get your first casino deposit and sports wager matched up to $500 each. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older and located in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117. Where else can you cheer on your team, enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi, sip on handcrafted cocktails, or one of 46 beers on tap? Take your game day or date night to Cask and Company Kitchen Bar or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. Two amazing places with one awesome blended modern American Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask and Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing. Ever wonder how comfortable you can be and how good you can look? Put on a Muskox flannel and find out. Muskox has new arrivals for this fall, including the Caper Green Grand Flannel, which even makes couch look good. Muskox is a Detroit-based flannel company that creates soft and durable flannels made to last a lifetime. They become a great partner with Couch in the Rube, not just because they make us look good and feel good, but because they're good people too, and a socially conscious company. For every $100 purchase, $10 is donated to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation. Muskox flannels are designed with 100% cotton that is ethically sourced and double brushed for softness. Feel the quality and comfort of a Muskox flannel by ordering at gomuskox.com, where Couch in the Rube listeners can enjoy $15 off their flannel purchase with the promo code HOFF. Come enjoy irresistible, award-winning, handcrafted donuts and locally roasted coffee at Groovy Donuts. Surprise your family or coworkers with special holiday designs and flavors, or put the perfect finishing touch on an event with a custom order. Birthdays, weddings, gender reveals, our friends at Groovy Donuts are your answer. Experience the Groovy Donuts difference for yourself on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston. Get more information or place an order at groovydonuts.com.
Find Couch in the Rube podcasts on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Google Podcasts, CastBox, and the Rube's favorite podcast addict.
Couch in the Rube, our Wednesday show presented by our friends at Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask and Company, Kitchen and Bar. One of the great reservation systems that exists at caskandcompany.com, especially Thursday through Sunday when they get busy. Caskandcompany.com. You can write in where you want to be, a booth, which side of the restaurant, Front 43 or Cask and Company. One menu, two distinct vibes, Front 43 and caskandcompany.com. Very pleased now to have Steven Sipple on, senior writer for Husker Online and On3 Sports, longtime columnist in Lincoln, and co-host of Early Break on 93.7. The Ticket there. There are two types of big-time columnists in this world. Those that just big-time you, and those that treat a 28-year-old young sports writer in Kalamazoo, Michigan, on a road trip covering the Western Michigan Broncos like he's somebody, like he matters, and not just dismissive of that team and that beat and everything like that. And I've experienced both in my life, and I've probably been both. I've probably been the jerk and the nice guy too. But was very grateful for the way I was treated in Nebraska in 2008. And one of the people that I met that day and remember very well was Steven Sipple. Steven, great to have you on.
2008, huh?
Yeah. You remember back that far?
You're testing me a little bit there, Graham. But I that kind words. I can't. Hey, listen, I'm very capable of being a jerk too. So let's make that.
Well, I clearly left an impression. You guys had like a whole. You had like a whole setup. There was like almost like a video. It was the early days of doing online video and all sorts. You guys had a whole setup. There was like a whole video game day thing. I came on. It was quite the.
Right.
Quite the deal.
No. Now, all right. Yeah, you are the one that I should. Yeah, you came on and did that at a time when it was sort of newish, right? All of this stuff that we do was kind of newish. So yeah, thank you for doing it.
It's not like people were beating down our door, my door covering the Western Michigan Broncos. So I was available.
Yes, sir. How you been, Graham?
Things are good. Things are good up here. I kind of have the job that you had for a long, long time there in Lincoln, and it's one of the great gigs. It really is.
I know it. Good job.
So wanted to get a sense of this Nebraska team from you.
Okay.
How disappointing was the vibe? Because I know it's one of those places where people have been sort of waiting for the year for a while. My sense is there was a thought that it was still probably a year away, and more of a realistic sense of that. But how disappointed were people in sort of the way the Michigan game unfolded, and sort of this realization that there are some areas where they might not be there yet?
Well, I'll tell you what. First of all, you nailed that. I mean, it is. I think it's not like people are getting too far ahead of themselves, but they did see the fans here, and let's face it, the media. I don't think people are too far ahead of themselves in the way they assess the program, but that game was deemed to be sort of one you could get, because you had a freshman quarterback coming in here for Michigan, Underwood. And that's not a hardball Michigan team. That's not what, it didn't look like that to me. So yeah, there was some disappointment. There's also this sort of lingering, and I don't know, now I get better be careful. I don't want to say I'm speaking for the fan base here, but this fan base is really smart. Most Big Ten every team's fan base is smart in this conference. And Nebraska doesn't stop the run very well, and they don't run it very well. And I think that kind of everything is sort of in the context of that. And I would add to that they're not a very good red zone team. So you know how it goes, Graham. If you don't do that stuff, you got to figure a lot out. And I think they can. That's the thing. I think it's an interesting story here because of that. They don't run it well. They don't stop the run very well. But they got some parts that are pretty good.
So let's. One of the problems Michigan State has right now, I think, is their defense has not been very good. They can't get to the quarterback, right. and the way people, sort of the glory years of Michigan State a decade or more ago, people identify with defense. So, like, if one area is going to stink, it can't be that for people to recognize their football team. And when I think of the glory years in Nebraska, it's just, stopping the run and running it down your throat are it. So I'm wondering, can people identify with it's a really good passing attack? Dylan Raiola is a good quarterback. They do have a good secondary and all that. They're good pass defense. Like, can people identify with it without having those components?
Hope people understand that's why you're Graham Couch. You've made it as a columnist. That's a perfect question. It's challenging. And again, you know how these conversations go because you cover football's pretty layered. A lot of topics are pretty layered, and this one's layered. Can they identify with it? I think it helps that Dylan Raiola's dad was an All-American center here. Dominic was a bona fide. He's the second best center, in my opinion, to ever play at Nebraska. Dave Remington is the best. He has the Remington Award named after him. Then it's Dominic. So there's this association with Dominic and his toughness. He was a very fiery player. He played for the Lions. 14-year starter for the Detroit Lions.
Oh, we remember those are the glory years for the Lions. Yeah. So.
And then I know. And then his uncle, Dylan's uncle, is the offensive line coach. I think that helps. I think it helps with that sort of identification. It kind of helps with patience. And Dylan's really good. That's probably it helps that Dylan's very good. He's you take him away and they're in big trouble. So yeah, I don't know, but got back to your question. I didn't really get to the essence of it because it's hard. It's kind of a tough ask for people, but on the other hand, Graham, we've been doing this. We've been having this sort of conversation around here for a long time. It's not the first time. Mike Riley was sort of it was kind of passing oriented with Mike Riley. Even with Crouch, even with Frost, it was sort of pass oriented. So we're kind of getting used to that type of deal.
The how good is Raiola? It's one of those debates you hear, and obviously all the stuff with Mahomes, the national narrative around him is one thing. I think up here with Aiden Childs, he is better than the national narrative at this point. The quarterback he's become, now he's got to prove it in places like at Nebraska and against Michigan and places like that. But how good is he in your estimation?
It's tricky. It's a tricky question because he hasn't really. He really hasn't become what I view he will become. I think he's on his way to doing it. I think he's really good. See, here's the thing, Graham. His intangibles are through the roof good, okay? Through the roof good. He's extremely intelligent at the line of scrimmage. They give him more freedom at the line of scrimmage than probably 90% of the quarterbacks in the country. He's only a sophomore. He is an orchestrator. He knows what to do. He really does. He's exceptionally intelligent through some of it's just growing up with a dad who was a center and an uncle who was a center. He understands the game at a very high level, and he's got we call it arm talent, right? His arm talent's really good. He'll throw some passes on Saturday, Graham, that I'm sure will kind of freak you out. Now, he's not perfect, obviously. And certainly last year, when you look at I'm sure maybe what you're thinking is as I'm throwing all these compliments is, boy, he wasn't very good in the Big Ten last year. And he wasn't. True freshman. He struggled, Had some games down the stretch, though, Wisconsin. He played really well against Wisconsin down the stretch last year. In the bowl game, he played well. But he's off to a very good start, and I think it'll keep coming. He played well against Michigan under very difficult circumstances. Michigan was in the pocket all day long, and he can improvise. He can move up. He's good throwing on the run. He sees the field really well, even under duress. And I just think you'll keep seeing it. And I think you'll see it, Graham. I really think you'll see it at a high level in Lincoln against that defense.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, well, it should be a nice. I mean, if anybody's going to make him feel comfortable, it's Michigan State's defense. So that's what we've sort of discovered through the first few games here. I mean, they made Boston College look amazing. Dylan Lundgren there. I thought BC was on their way to being something after that game, and they've lost to Stanford and Cal since. So I think in some way it's interesting. I wonder what the – so I look at this, like Michigan State's offensive line's improved, and Nebraska has not been good stopping the run, right? They haven't been good running the ball. So if Michigan State can make them one-dimensional, maybe it's a little bit better. And so there are some things I think are really important for Michigan State in this game, because if they can't run the ball against Nebraska based on their stats, what we've seen so far, and if they can't stop the run against Nebraska, it's one thing to struggle against USC doing it. Then it's sort of telling going forward, this is going to be a rough ride. Getting the 6 wins is going to be a rough ride. If they're able to do those things, then there's some more possibilities you can see down the road. I'm wondering from a Nebraska standpoint how critical this game is in terms of, they lost to Michigan, but that's one tier, and right now where Michigan State is viewed as another. In terms of taking care of business in this game and seeing certain things, how important that is.
Oh, it's really, in this market, every game feels monumental. It just still does. It does. And they're trying to climb back, as a program, Nebraska. And here's the deal. They're 3-1. They thought they should have got Michigan. Now they have this very manageable October. We deem it to be manageable with Michigan State, then at Maryland, at Minnesota, then Northwestern comes to town. People here look at it. You should be a minimum of 3-1 and probably run the table. That's how it's being looked at here. That people think Nebraska is good enough to do that. So do it. And here's the other thing. Nebraska, I don't think many Big Ten teams have the opportunity to start the Big Ten schedule with 2 home games. Nebraska does. Lost to Michigan. Now, you don't want to go 0-2 to start out, especially with those games, with games that are manageable. It's not Ohio State. It's not Oregon. It's not Penn State. Maybe throw Indiana in there. So, it's big. This is Rules and kind of Matt Rule's the head coach. He's kind of in a prove-it season. Not that there's impatience at this point, but I don't know. It's a tricky place. We still live in the past a little bit or a lot, and I think people are pretty reasonable, but you're still always like, what's going on? Why can't Nebraska do this? So it's always. I'll tell you one thing, Graham. I think you'd love being a columnist here because it's never a shortage of topics.
I tell you what I've loved going there is just. I know it's a football first place, but the support the basketball program gets, even when they're lousy, is amazing to me. Like I would enjoy covering a basketball situation like that too. It's
oh, you would.
Yeah.
You would. It is. It's pretty. They've been all right, but those fans throw themselves into basketball during the off season. Still a football school.
Yeah.
And I always complain as a columnist about the low expectations for the basketball program. I get a lot of people angry, but they are exceedingly low. I mean, if you just get in the tournament, you're hailed.
They're looking for a distraction. Yeah.
You really don't even have to win here. You just got to get in the tournament, and then then they're thinking about statues and stuff like that.
It's a great place to be a basketball coach.
Oh God, it is. You get rich here. You agent, basketball coach. Oh, this is heaven.
I want to ask you about sort of the long-term prognosis of Nebraska football, because obviously for a lot of this post, Frank Solich era of trying to get back to what was under Osborne, football was one way, and now it's another way. And you hear Matt Rule the other day. I saw the interview where he was just talking about the realities of rev share and now them being a little more on an even playing field, not having as much money as some other people at times, and that when you're building a roster, you can see that. And Michigan State's in much the same boat. They were really, I think, waiting for the rev share, and they've struggled a little bit with some of the fundraising before then. What is the financial state of the ability to raise funds and compete at the top level, and how much are folks there hoping that the rev share winds up being the primary source for how you build a roster?
I think that Nebraska's in a pretty good spot that way. They're full rev share. They don't have to worry about being short there. And then as far as the NIL goes, it's not Oregon, it's not Ohio State. Rule was talking about $40 million rosters. And I don't even know that Nebraska aspires to have a $40 million roster. I guess the best way to put it, Graham, is I think last year at this time, I would say those people in the program that deal with this would say they were a few million short, a few million. They could use somebody to come in, or a group of people to come in with about $5 million, to bolster it, maybe to help them get over the top. And so I would say they're in a good situation, but it could be better. It always could be better. Again, I don't want to portray Nebraska. I don't think Nebraska aspires to have a $40 million roster, or even a $20 million roster. But they Rule wants to be competitive with the very best teams. So now I've kind of contradicted myself, which is a little. Here's the thing.
So it makes you a good columnist, the ability to contradict yourself in two straight columns,
It's easy to do it, though. Because a lot of these conversations we have, we don't even really know the numbers.
Right.
It's sort of our feel. So that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Steven, it is always a joy to talk to you, man. I look forward to seeing you in the box down in Lincoln this weekend, and appreciate the time and the insight. You're the best.
You're the best, and we've kind of stood the test of time, and I'm proud of you for doing that. We'll talk in the press box, okay?
Look forward to it, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Take care.
That's Steven Sipple from the from On3 and Husker Online. How was that for a 69 sesh there, Jason?
Oh, it's not as bad as some of the others in the past, for sure.
Okay.
But I was listening to more about the Nebraska, the issues that they had. Because whenever we have these guys on, I just think about the spread and what's going to happen in the game, and what little information can I grab from that. And I think I might grab that 11.5.
For Michigan State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Raiola, like, he's supposed to wow you with some throws. Like, all right.
Yeah.
Is he? All right. I've gambled on him a lot this year, Steven. I was just like, well, where am I being wowed at?
Well, and they're in a spot where they do have. You look at their numbers; it's jarring. They don't run the ball well, and they don't stop the run well. So Michigan State needs to be able to win those two areas.
Oh.
And the thing about Michigan State is if they can run the ball, which they've shown at some time, I don't think that's necessarily a weakness for them. We don't know yet it's a total strength. The defenses, there are elements that are clear weaknesses. But if that is something they can do with that passing attack, you got to think Michigan State's going to put up some points and going to keep themselves in the game, right?
What do you think Rossi's game plan is going to be, though? If you know that you can't get to the quarterback, what are you supposed to do?
You have to get to the quarterback.
I know.
You have to.
What do you
have to. Because if you don't, It's
suicide blitzes? What are you supposed to do?
It's no way. It's no way to live. I was talking to Malik Spencer today about that safety for Michigan State. I'm doing a piece on him for game day this weekend, and I was just like, these guys don't want to I'm asking them, what's it like to be back there for 4 or 5 seconds, when there's no pass rush?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, he goes, actually, a slant is always this. He basically no excuses, and those guys aren't going to throw their teammates under the bus, and they're, but you cannot play defense if you can't at some level. If the quarterback gets comfortable, it's a problem, and we saw it against Boston College, and obviously. It happened against USC, and so they've got to find a way, at the very least, even if they're not getting sacks, they've got to make people feel pressured and out of rhythm, right? That you just can't let people. I thought the other interesting thing is, Nebraska is a place, you think of Nebraska as this sort of on par with Michigan in terms of their history. Their history is very similar in some ways in terms of who they were in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, right? Now, Michigan was able to recapture that and take that step and win big in the last few years, and Nebraska has not been able to do that yet. But you see in the money era, Michigan's at another level, right? And Nebraska's, while I think they have some advantages being the biggest thing in the state, probably in terms of NIL too and other things, and I'm talking like true NIL, because there's nothing bigger than Nebraska football in the state of Nebraska. They're closer probably to Michigan State in terms of their financial resources and even with football being a priority. And that just is different
But
everywhere.
Who are Nebraska's billionaires?
Well, I don't know. We don't. I mean,
Michigan State has billionaires who both hate each other and that want to fight, to give more money.
Have them,
I understand that. I'm just wondering,
Again, you don't have to be a billionaire. You just have to be hot and marry a billionaire who's 50 years older than you, and your school can have billionaires.
So you have to be hot in Nebraska.
Hot in Nebraska, or no Nebraska alum. They can live in Silicon Valley. They can live wherever. You just need to you need to care about Nebraska and be hot, man or woman. Not enough guys take advantage of this in the NIL era. I don't think. All right, we will take a quick break. We get back. We'll talk to Harry, pick some games here. Couch in the Rube, our Wednesday show presented by our friends at Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask & Company Kitchen and Bar.
Firekeeper's online casino and sportsbook is the site to play from your phone, tablet, or laptop. Get in on all the football action with pre- and in-game wagering. There's showdowns every week in football that you can't miss. Plus, the college and pro hoops are red hot, and the pucks are cool. Get your first casino deposit and sports wager matched up to $500 each. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older and located in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117. Where else can you cheer on your team? Enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi. Sip on handcrafted cocktails or one of 46 beers on tap. Take your game day or date night to Cask & Company Kitchen Bar or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. Two amazing places with one awesome blended modern American Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask & Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing. Ever wonder how comfortable you can be and how good you can look? Put on a Muskox flannel and find out. Muskox has new arrivals for this fall, including the Caper Green Grand Flannel, which even makes couch look good. Muskox is a Detroit-based flannel company that creates soft and durable flannels made to last a lifetime. They become a great partner with Couch in the Rube, not just because they make us look good and feel good, but because they're good people too, and a socially conscious company. For every $100 purchase, $10 is donated to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation. Muskox flannels are designed with 100% cotton that is ethically sourced and double brushed for softness. Feel the quality and comfort of a Muskox flannel by ordering at GoMuskox.com, where Couch in the Rube listeners can enjoy $15 off their flannel purchase with the promo code HOFF. If you're looking for a relaxed vibe, great food, and an outstanding beer selection, Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing is your place. Enjoy their famed chicken and waffle fries, fish and chips, or any of their delicious burgers or salads. Midtown Brewing Company also offers 40-plus beers on tap, including ciders and seasonal offerings and daily happy hour specials. The spacious and cozy vibe makes Midtown Brewing Company a perfect place for a beer with a friend, a work lunch, or to watch the games on its big screen TVs. If you'd rather eat at home, Midtown Brewing Company offers a terrific carryout menu and free delivery on orders of $20 or more. Visit MidtownBrewingCompany.net or stop by 402 South Washington in downtown Lansing for the Midtown Brewing Company experience.
Find Couch in the Rube podcasts on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Google Podcasts, CastBox, and the Rube's favorite podcast addict.
Couch in the Rube, our Wednesday afternoon show brought to you by our friends at Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask & Company Kitchen and Bar. Nothing feeds my soul like a Wednesday afternoon when we get to talk to Harry Gagnon, the great Harry Gagnon. And BigAl.com, you have been on fire, Harry, and great run in soccer, some baseball, a lot of things. How you doing, brother?
Everything's good, guys. Sorry I've missed you guys the last couple of weeks, but definitely miss you guys. Go Tigers. Hopefully they can pull this out against the Guardians And I'm back. Let's have some fun. Yeah, definitely. We got some picks to get to. That's for sure.
Wow, it's awesome. It's awesome to have you.
He sounds different. You all right, Harry? You sound like you're in a Peruvian jail or something.
Blink twice if somebody has
okay.
you. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Good.
All right.
Good. That's
all we need to hear.
That's good. Well, yeah, we're going to go through some games and then give maybe anything else we like and best bets of the weekend. It is a good college football weekend. I wouldn't call it it's not like last week had an elite college football weekend to it. This is a pretty good one. Wisconsin plus 17 at Michigan. Start here. It's a lot of points. And Wisconsin, what you have to do, I'm on Michigan here. What you have to do is you have to get past the Wisconsin brand, because you see that and you're like, well, Wisconsin will keep it close. I don't know that they will. They're not good. And so I think Michigan's got advantage of the line of scrimmage. Wisconsin's lost that advantage, and I think Michigan wins this by 3 touchdowns. I'm on Michigan here. Jason, where are you?
Yeah, because I've had some money on Wisconsin because I felt like they could run the ball and maybe keep the clock on some of these higher spreads, because Wisconsin, Harry, they've struggled against the spread 1-3 in the last 4 games. It does seem like a lot of points here, and Michigan's Wisconsin, has a top-ranked run defense, so I don't know if that could help and put some more pressure on Underwood, but I think Wisconsin has just given up, and they're terrible. I mean, the Fickle era, everybody's talking about it being over, so I think Michigan wins this game, and I'm giving the 16.5. What do you got?
Yeah, Fickle hasn't worked out there at all. This is more of a bet against Wisconsin than I'm taking and laying this big number with Michigan. But I will take the Wolverines. This Wisconsin offense stinks. Lost at home 2 weeks ago to Maryland by 17. Managed just 1 game out of 4 to score more than 17 points this year. And if you date back, guys, to last year, they've scored. The Wisconsin Badgers, Camp Randall used to be the place to, teams would hate going there. But in the last 9 games, they have scored more than 17 points if you date back to last year, twice. 2 times in the last 9 games, they've actually scored more than 17 points. They just don't have any offense, and their defense isn't great either. I'll lay it with Michigan.
Yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking, and this is the freshman quarterback syndrome too. Like, there could be a day where, he has a couple picks, Underwood, and I'm talking about, and like things don't, the freshman quarterback things always makes big spreads a little hairy, and the fact that they don't have great elite maybe talent on the outside, Michigan, it makes me a little nervous. But I just think they're going to win at the line.
You shouldn't be nervous. Wisconsin's ass.
Yeah, they are ass. Yeah. MSU, Michigan State plus 11.5 at Nebraska. That's a big number, and the defense we just watched from Michigan State, you want to caution people on too much reliance on anything, but Nebraska doesn't stop the run, and Michigan State's been okay in that area, and Michigan State can throw the ball. Even though Nebraska's got a good pass defense, I think they'll be able to do that. I think they'll be pretty balanced. I think they'll be able to score points, and so while I have very little faith in Michigan State being able to stop Nebraska's passing attack and slow them down, I think 11.5 is too much for a Nebraska team that's not dominating at the line of scrimmage. That's the team where if you lose at the line of scrimmage and in the skill spot, I think this is too many points. It's again, I would be cautious with Michigan State's defense loading up your
and you've watched Michigan State's defense up close.
I have. I've watched a little bit of Nebraska this year too. I'm going to.
You're just hoping they get a sack at least one time.
I'm going to pick Nebraska to win this game, but I think 11.5 is high, and what I think will be a competitive game down there, unless Michigan State turns the ball over, and they haven't shown to be that. Aiden Childs is if he's the quarterback he's been to this point, I think Michigan State will be in the football game. Where are you?
Yeah, it's somewhat of a spite bet, Harry, because I definitely had Nebraska at home against Michigan, and they let me down a couple weeks ago on that. But Nebraska is going to win this game. Again, it's a homecoming game for them. They're 10-2 on homecoming games against Big Ten opponents. But like Graham said, Harry, 11.5, I'm just hoping the D can show up, the Michigan State that is, and do anything, get some sort of pressure on Raiola. So give me Michigan State plus 11.5. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to take the points, too. I think it's too many. Look, Nebraska barely got by Cincinnati in their opener. came close but lost to Michigan by 3 2 weeks ago. They really had that game penciled in their schedule. I think they really wanted it. Michigan State did play tough at USC, even though they had to play at 11 o'clock Eastern start time for those guys. They still were able to put up 31 points. And speaking of 31 or more points, since 2012, they've played Nebraska 7 times. The biggest loss in those 7 games was by 4 points. So I think Michigan State can come within the number here. Sparty scored 31 or more in 3 of the 4 games. Omari Kelly and Nick Marsh have been very good so far for the Spartans. 39 receptions combined, 550 yards, 4 touchdowns. I think this is too big of a number for Nebraska to lay, especially, like I said, they wanted that Michigan game. They didn't get it. Have had to wait 2 weeks now for the Michigan State game, but I think that's too many points and Michigan State covers.
All right, one more college game before we get to the NFL. Miami minus 4.5 at Florida State. There are a couple other good games, and we may get 1 or 2 in our best bets, but Miami minus 4.5 at Florida State. Florida State with a surprising overtime loss at Virginia last week. Miami's been good. I think Miami's a more seasoned program right now in terms of talent, and this is inside of 6 points. Look, this can go either way here, but I'm not like
it's a classic go either way.
This is more of a lean, but I like Miami here a little more. I just think they're a better team than Florida State. But it is a home dog, and those are always present some opportunities. Jason, where are you?
Yeah, this game is weird. The line is weird. I mean, Miami's favored coming off the bye week, Harry. Florida State with that loss. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, is this like their Super Bowl? They're looking up. They want to beat Miami. It's kind of a rivalry kind of thing. I mean, everybody's saying take the over, which is 54.5. I think if you believe that, you think it's going to be a close game. I mean, just give me the home dog. I like the 4.5 for some reason. I'm a sucker. I'm going to get sucked into this 4.5. So give me Florida State in the points. What do you got?
You're not a sucker here, Jay. I love the 4.5 here. Now, look, Florida State did have a disappointing loss last Friday to Virginia, but the refs gave the Cavaliers a lot of calls. And I had the over, which was an easy winner for me, but a lot of calls went against Florida State. Hopefully we get some for the Noles on Saturday. I like this Tommy Castellanos transfer quarterback for Florida State that came from BC. Didn't play a great game there. But, listen, don't forget, he managed this team in their opener to a 2-touchdown victory over Alabama. And look what Alabama did last week, winning in Athens. So don't forget about that. Miami barely got by Notre Dame. They had to score late to pull away from Florida, who has no offense, Miami. And Carson Beck, I understand, he went to Miami. He got the money. Everyone wants to say that at the end of his career at Georgia, he really wasn't that great. He was kind of a turnover machine, and he's had a nice 4 games here for Miami. But last 2 games, he does have 3 picks in his last 2 games. The game against Florida, only 56% completion percentage for that game. I'm taking Florida State with a 4.5 here at home.
All right. Well, I'm definitely not taking Miami with that lean after listening to you guys. All right. NFL games. Broncos +3 at Eagles. I like this. This is a line where like I've gone both ways strongly. When I first saw this, I was like, oh, I love the Eagles. Love the Eagles here. And I watched the Broncos defense, and they won a game against a Cincinnati team that's just sort of off in another world. I don't know what's going on there. Obviously, they lost their quarterback, but I don't know how good this Broncos team is. But I'm a little nervous around this, and for whatever reason, I've leaned the other way now. There are a couple things about the Eagles I don't think are. I mean, obviously they're a good, complete football team in some ways. The defending Super Bowl champs. They're not getting great stuff out of the receivers. They wore down late against Tampa. Now that was heat and all that stuff. I think this is going to be a really competitive, close game. Just a lean, just a hunch. Weirdly, I'm on the Broncos here. Jason, where are you?
Yeah, I think the Broncos are a good team. Are they good enough to go on the road in Philly against that defense? Bo Nix, do you trust him? They're not very good against the spread on the road, Harry. Give me the Eagles -3. What do you got?
I'm going to take the Broncos. I'm with Graham. Look, I know Philadelphia, 20-1. All they do is win games, right? 20-1 in their last 21 games overall. That includes the playoffs. But the line 3 at Philly, very fishy here.
Yeah.
Incredible cover for them versus the Rams, Philadelphia. Denver very easily could be 4-0. The field goal thing against Indy was weird. I don't think they should have called that. But this is something, too. The Broncos easily could be 4-0 this year. You guys realize that, they are 2-2. I get it. But this line is low, fishy low, and they have not trailed in any of their games yet this year. Both their losses were on the last-second field goal to end the game. They have not trailed yet this year.
What?
Fishy number here. I understand Philly, got a big lead against Tampa and then had to hold on. But I'm taking the Broncos here. I really like what we saw out of Bo Nix. I know it was against Cincinnati, who was struggling, but still 300 yards, 3 total touchdowns. I'm taking Denver with the points.
And Indy looks like a good team. They look like, we'll see how far Daniel Jones can take them, but it looks like a pretty complete team in a lot of ways, and great at tight end, good running back. They've just got a lot there, and so I don't think that's necessarily.
And Philly couldn't pass.
And Barkley's and Brown's complaining. Barkley's numbers are not great, not even close to great. So let's take the Broncos here.
Yeah, but Brown's complaining because they had 0 pass completions in the second half in Week 4, so they can't figure it out after halftime. So I think that's why the line is kind of fishy, Harry, as you were saying. But I just still think they cover.
All right, Lions -10 at the Bengals. This one's made for teasers, 7-pointers and 10-pointers, and last week was great too for that against Cleveland. This is another week where you can put whatever you love. If you're a Michigan State fan and you want to bump Michigan State up to 18.5 on a 7-point teaser and put it with the Lions -3, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you that's probably not a bad play.
I thought teasers were bad now.
I don't.
Are they good still? Okay.
Yeah, I've lost plenty on teasers. I enjoy teasers. It'll be interesting to see where the Bengals are. They are home. They look like a team that's just going to quit at some point, but it's early in the year to do that. At home, I think there will be some fight. The question is just what does that mean, and how much can the Lions take advantage? The Bengals' defense is nowhere near as good as the Browns they just faced. I mean, this is 10 is a big number in the NFL. It's a really big number on the road in the NFL.
Do you see that offensive line on Monday night, though, from the Bengals?
Yeah, I know. It looks awful. I'm going to take it here because here's the way I look at it.
You're taking the 10?
I would take the Lions -10.
Okay.
Yeah, because I certainly wouldn't take the Bengals here. I may be a little queasy about 10 points on the road, but I would feel worse having the Bengals in anything under 15 points in any game at this point. Jason, where are you?
Yeah, if it hadn't been for that Monday night game to watch the Bengals offensive line, Harry, that Mims guy, the right tackle, I wanted them to investigate his gambling apps because, how could you just let these guys from Cleveland just walk right by you time after time? I just think our defense can get to Browning, make him uncomfortable, and I just think this is 34-10 written all over it. What do you got?
Yeah, it's basically the same sort of thing that happened last week when Detroit played Cleveland. I don't know. I know Burrow's out and done, but you just don't give up this quick in the season. It looks like this is exactly what Cincinnati has done the last 2 weeks of the season. Detroit just went through the motions last week and still put up 34 and looked good and got the running game was excellent. I think in this spot too, it's just you can't have Cincinnati. There's nothing they're showing that's going to make them want you to take them. I know it's kind of a big number. It is a big number on the road, but you don't see any life out of Cincinnati at all. Goff managing this team very well since that loss to Green Bay. I'm taking Detroit.
All right, my favorite game.
And by the way, can we stop with the national media saying they should trade for Kirk Cousins or the Bengals are wasting it? If Jake Browning, there's nothing you can do when your offensive line is that bad. What's Kirk Cousins going to do on this Bengals team?
Nothing.
The season's over.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and they know it, and that's the hard part. All right, lastly, Chiefs -3.5 at the Jaguars. I love this line. I love the Chiefs, and I'm not scared of the half. I think they're trying to get us on the Jaguars, and I don't think the Jaguars are bad. I think they're at home. I think the Chiefs, and I know that Baltimore was all banged up and all that stuff, but to me, who the Chiefs look like, I think the Chiefs getting healthy at receiver, sort of finding their swagger, seeing the division come back to them with the injuries to the Chargers and everything. I think I think the Chiefs are going to get on a little bit of a roll here. I'm not saying they're going to blow the Jaguars out, but I don't mind the 3.5 here. Jason, where are you?
I know, but after the 49ers-Jags game, Robert Saleh went up to Liam Coleman and said, "You're the best at discovering what we're going to call." He's stealing plays, apparently. And I think he's going to steal more plays. And I know Harry's anti-Andy Reid and the Chiefs. So give me the Jags and those points, Harry. What do you got?
Well, more than anything in this game, I like the under of 46.5. Both Jags home games have been 36 and 27, and Jags defense has been pretty good. Forcing a lot of turnovers and getting sacks. But if I had to pick a game here, I think I'm going to lean still towards Kansas City because, boy, look, you could save a Worthy back, and look what happens. All of a sudden, the offense looks great. Mahomes, 4 touchdowns. When's the last time we saw that out of him? And I just don't have the ultimate faith in a big game, big spot like this Monday night for Trevor Lawrence, who still is only getting 211 passing yards per game. He's got 5 touchdowns to 4 picks. The leading receivers, the tight end Brenton Strange. I just don't think. I don't know. I mean, ATN's been very good. I know I think he's 3rd in the NFL in rushing yards. But if they fall behind early, it's going to be tough for them to establish and continue that running game. As they probably panic, I will lay the points for the Chiefs. But again, I think this is something like a 23-13 type of game.
All right, as we get to our anything else we like in best bets, and Harry, I know you have a couple things. One of the things I love about Harry, so I'm on BigAl.com today, or Harry's got his picks, and Harry's free play in soccer today. There, this is the deep dive. This is the degenerate. Orange County SC versus Sacramento Republic FC, draw plus 256. Like, we're talking USL draw Wednesday night game on BigAl.com. Like, what I love about this is
you don't love money.
I don't think Big Al loved it so much since he listed my best bet as my free play as the last one down the list. So I don't know.
I love it. It's somebody who loves watching like tennis on the Asian swing on live streams at 2-3 in the morning. I respect this because I will try and find a stream of this game, and I will definitely have money on it. Look, there's smart plays in the draw. When the draw is the biggest of the 3 lines and you need equal teams, like I'm telling you, there's smart money on draws in soccer, and you have to find them. Again, you can find Harry's picks at BigAl.com. Harry, you have
forget baseball playoffs. I'm into this. Whatever. What is it? USL Soccer League, of course.
You have to know the name of the league, Harry. Though you have to know the name of the league.
I know.
You don't have to.
All right, Harry, you have both an NFL teaser you like and a Premier League pick. So what? Let's give the teaser first in the NFL.
Okay. You know what? I'm going. It's a 7-point teaser, guys. I'm going back to that Denver-Philadelphia game. I am taking Denver. I'm pushing it. Some places you can find 3.5, so I'm going to try to get myself 10.5. But if I can't, I'm still going to get the 10 here with Denver. Last 21 regular season games, the Broncos have lost by more than 10 just once. Again, I really liked what I saw out of Bo Nix last week, over 300 yards, get a rushing touchdown. He can definitely take off running, 2 passing touchdowns. And again, this line seems fishy, so let me push it up to 10 or 10.5. I'm taking the Broncos here. And again, like I said, they haven't trailed all season long so far. And I'm going to tease that from 7.5 down to 7 with my hometown Arizona Cardinals. Now, look, I don't love this team. They haven't looked great, that's for sure. But just got to win this game against Tennessee to get to 3-2, and then the hard part of their season really kicks in. Trey Benson got a game under his belt, and now he's gonna, with Connor out for the rest of the season, he feels a little more comfortable here. More than anything else here, obviously Tennessee is awful. They got no offense. They can't get things going at all. I feel terrible for Cam Ward. No offensive line. He's got no time to pass the ball. And the Cards defense, for what it's worth, has been very good so far this season. They're giving up through 4 games just 18 points per game. I think that's what shines in this game, the defense of the Cards, just to win the game, Arizona at home against Tennessee, and I'm going to tease Denver up to plus 10, double digits.
I love it. Before we get to your English Premier League pick, Jason, and we take over with a soccer 69 session here. What do you have? Any best bets? Anything else you're playing?
I have nothing right now.
Okay,
no,
good. Okay. Well, Harry, what is this Premier League bet? And I got to write this down here. I'm ready.
Yeah, again, like I said, you mentioned on BigAl.com, I believe, after my win yesterday in the Atletico Madrid game to go over 3, which they won 5-1. I'm 7-2 now in my last 9 soccer selections on BigAl.com. And on Sunday, I'm going to take go ahead and finally we got some regular English Premier League action, Graham, and I'm going to go on Sunday over 2.5 in the Newcastle-Nottingham Forest match. Newcastle playing today. Last time I checked, they had scored 2 goals already in the Champions Cup, where they scored 2 goals already at halftime. Last meeting in February between these two, Newcastle won by a score of 4-3. 7 goals there when you only need 3, and in 4 of the last 5 meetings versus each other, goals have landed in those games. 4 goals or more in 4 of the last 5 meetings. We just need 3 here. Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, over 2.5 on Sunday.
I love it. Sunday I'll be waking up early in Lincoln, Nebraska, turning on the Premier League. And the later game that day I love is part of a parlay. Man City at Brentford. Brentford's not that good. Now, they figured it out a little bit. I was worried about relegation for a minute. I think they figured it out. And I know Man City's coming off the Champions League and all that stuff. Man City is just a better team than Brentford. And this is not – I know Brentford, the Bees have been – this is not the Brentford Bees of last year or the year before under Thomas Frank. And they've lost a lot of players. They lost their manager. They're just – Man City is a better team. Man City still, with Liverpool faltering, I think senses that they have a chance to keep pace for a while and be in the hunt. That's minus 170 on the money line. Now, they have to win, and then – all you have to do to make that a real palatable thing is parlay it with Arsenal at home to beat West Ham plus 600, and you do that, and you got you got a situation where like $10 pays like $8.60. It's really you got it's a good situation there. West Ham changes manager, better situation. They're not going to win at Arsenal, an Arsenal team that now smells blood a little bit with Liverpool. So I think that's how you bring that juice down at minus 170 with Man City at Brentford. That would be my Premier League play this weekend. Harry, you are a beautiful man. It is good to have you on, and hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, guys. Go Tigers. Come on.
That is the great Harry Gagnon. Man, I love talking soccer. I love that he's – I mean, the depths of soccer here. I mean, you got Champions League action today, and my man's on USL – Orange County SC, Sacramento Republic FC, draw plus 256. I mean, that is, look, the money's all the same. That is
Instead
beautiful.
of betting that, I just want video of Big Al's reaction when Harry throws it across his desk.
Because the other free soccer picks are both, one's like Paris Saint-Germain, PSG in Barcelona, which is like the biggest game in Champions League. Another one's Fluminense, which is, big club and European side, and Harry. I mean, the guys, the salaries in the game that are under the guys in the game Harry picked are making less than $50,000 a year, all of them.
Go Lions! Restore the roar.
Absolutely beautiful. We will be back Friday. We're doing a morning show, so if you're a live listener, Friday morning, probably 10 a.m.
Tigers play Friday morning?
They do. Yeah, we're timing it for the Tigers. Friday morning, I've got to catch a flight to Nebraska that afternoon, so we're going to go early, and hopefully by then we'll be talking about a Tigers series win and answering your Groovy Donut Twitter questions. We appreciate Harry coming on, Steven, and we appreciate you listening, and of course we appreciate Front 43 and Cask & Company, the OG of Couch and the Roof sponsors. Go to caskandcompany.com, check out their menu, make a reservation today. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
Couch in the Roof.